Jack's fear of the future. One evening, Jack was sitting in his bed, tightly holding a pillow, watching his mother. There was a deep thought on his face, mixed with some worry. His mother quickly noticed that he wanted to say something and sat beside him, smiling. Jack, in a hesitant voice, asked his question. Mom, will everything change when I become an adult? Will you still be my mom and dad when I grow up? Seeing the worry in Jack's eyes, his mother hugged him lovingly and answered in a soft voice, Of course, my son. Even as you grow up, we will always be your mom and dad. Nothing will change that, because the day you were born, we became your mom and dad. That will never change. Jack took a deep breath, but his questions were not over. After a brief pause, he spoke again. Mom, will your hair turn white? I'm afraid if you look different, I won't recognize you. His mother gently smiled and nodded. Yes, our hair might turn white one day, but why don't you want our hair to turn white? Jack hugged her more tightly and whispered, I don't want it. Stay the same. Don't change. His mother smiled softly and patted Jack's hair. Well, we can dye it then. Also, she lowered her voice as if sharing a secret. Did you know your grandmother's hair is actually completely white? Jack's eyes widened in surprise. Really? But it doesn't look like that. His mother smiled and nodded. Yes, because she dyes it. One day I'll dye my hair like Grandma. Would you be okay with that? Jack thought for a moment and then smiled. Okay, Mom, you can be like Grandma, but don't let your hair turn completely white, okay? Jack felt a little relieved, but there was still another question on his mind. Mom, what if your face changes? What if it wrinkles? His mother answered with a sweet smile. Yes, our faces may wrinkle. We might look like Grandma. Do you think that's really bad? Jack thought for a while, then shook his head. No, you can be like Grandma, but don't get too wrinkled, okay? His mother laughed heartily. Grandma is my mom, and one day I'll look like her. Jack's questions weren't over yet. The uncertainty of the future still scared him. After a brief silence, he asked another question. What about when I grow up? Will I get a beard? His mother smiled and answered, Yes, you probably will. Most boys get beards. Jack immediately protested. I don't want a beard. I don't want it. His mother understood that Jack wasn't ready to accept changes, so she reassured him. Okay, sweetheart, don't worry. In this day and age, everything has a solution. If you don't like your beard, we can remove it. Jack asked with a puzzled expression. Will it never grow again? His mother smiled and nodded. Yes, it won't grow again. You can have it however you want. Jack felt a little more relieved, but he still had one more question. When I grow up, can I still put my head on your lap? Or will I still fit in your arms? Can I hold your hand while sleeping? His mother held his small hands and answered lovingly. As long as you want, you can stay here, my dear. What more could a mother and father want? They want their child to always be with them. But when the time comes, maybe you won't want to stay with us. Jack immediately shook his head. No, I will always stay with you. So don't let anything change. His mother smiled and gently stroked his hair. You can stay with us as long as you want, my dear. But sometimes things change, and that's not a bad thing. For example, your height will increase and your clothes will become smaller. We'll get you new ones. Jack furrowed his brows and asked, Can we still keep the old ones? His mother smiled at his sweet request and answered, Of course, my son. We don't have to give them away. We can keep them in the closet. Jack felt a bit more relaxed, but he still had one more question. Mom, what about my sister Arya? Will she leave us when she grows up? Can we stay together? His mother smiled lovingly and nodded. Don't worry, sweetheart. Arya will grow up too, but we can still stay together. As long as we want, we can be together. We don't have to go anywhere. Jack thought for a moment, his eyes brightening as he added, Will our house change? Let's stay here. I don't want to move. His mother smiled and reassured him. Our house is beautiful. We don't have a reason to move, but life is sometimes full of surprises. Wherever we are, as long as we are together, every place will be our home. Jack smiled. Growing up didn't seem so scary anymore, because his mother had given him one of the greatest reassurances. No matter what happens, this loving home will always be here. For now, that was the only thing he needed to know.